What President Trump just did to Hollywood shortly after naming Mel Gibson and Sylvester Stallone as his personal ambassadors is by far and away the most devastating blow to Hollywood yet. And there are many celebrities, many producers, many people all over in Hollywood who are absolutely losing their minds today after what Trump just did. So what we're going to check out here is a devastating post from Trump to Hollywood that is very, very bad news for the entire industry, and they're all losing their minds over this. And then we're going to check out some of the backlash, some of the meltdowns of the Hollywood celebrities who are very, very upset about what Trump just did. So this is what Trump posted over on Truth Social. The movie industry in America is dying a very fast death. Other countries are offering all sorts of incentives to draw our filmmakers and studios away from the United States. Hollywood and many other areas within the USA are being devastated. This is a concerted effort by other nations and therefore a national security threat. It is, in addition to everything else, messaging and propaganda. Therefore, I am authorizing the Department of Commerce and the United States Trade Representative to immediately begin the process of instituting a 100% tariff on any and all movies coming into our country that are produced in foreign lands. We want movies made in America again. Now, there's a lot to unpack here. One of the things, of course, right off the bat that I think is very interesting is that he is talking about how all these other countries are offering very, very good incentives for people in Hollywood to go shoot in those countries. And I think that Trump realizes that, and he is probably looking at the bigger picture of like, why aren't we doing more of these types of incentives here in America versus other countries? And what my EpicVerse co-founder Chaz has to say about this is really good, where he says if he was serious about strengthening the US film industry, he'd offer film tax incentives for studios making films meeting certain criteria like no DEI, all-American crews, full US-based production, and pro-American content. We're one of the only countries that doesn't do this, and I completely agree. And I think that Trump is looking at what is happening with the entertainment industry, and he realizes that there are a lot of problems with this. Now, two things can be true at the same time. One thing that is true is that Trump and knowing how he operates, how he works, he's probably doing this to try to start a certain conversation. It's all part of the art of the deal. This is how Trump works, and I think that what he is doing here is not because he wants to put 100% tariffs on all of this, but because he is trying to gain something else out of all of this. And ultimately, what Trump probably is trying to do is probably trying to get a bunch of the people in Hollywood to get together and have a conversation with him, to have a meeting with him, because they're going to be panicking after this. They are going to want to be meeting with Trump to talk to him about what they can do to work out some sort of deal that will make this not as harsh on them. And that is exactly what Trump is after, all right? He wants the CEOs to come to him, desperate. He wants them to come to him panicking. Now, the other thing that is true is that this isn't ultimately going to fix the problems that are in Hollywood with the DEI and the woke crap and all of that, and the way that Hollywood operates at large. This isn't something that is going to necessarily fix those things, and so that is just something to keep in mind. So Hollywood is panicking after Trump proposes 100% tariffs on movies filmed outside the United States. And obviously there are so many questions when it comes to what Trump is talking about there and how all of this would even work when you are dealing with services instead of trade goods, and how that would work with tariffs. And, you know, does this mean that any movie that is 100% filmed outside the US is going to be 100% tariffed? Or, you know, does it mean just certain parts of production? Does it mean foreign films? There are so many questions when it comes to what Trump is actually talking about here. So some of the responses coming from people in Hollywood are things like this, where we have one producer who is screaming and saying this makes no sense. It implies that a US film is meant to shoot in the US, but the Harry Potter films, Lord of the Rings, Schindler's List, Mission Impossible, yada, 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 and so many more are US films that shot overseas for obvious reasons. And, you know, some of that is obviously location, some of that is incentives. There's a lot of reasons why a bunch of movies would want to shoot overseas. Do these films have to shoot in the US from now on? It's an absurd announcement with no meaning nor understanding of storytelling or creative impulses. This is what another industry insider exclaimed. If this goes the distance, it will decimate the industry. But you can't just stop production. So we're going to continue to monitor this situation because this is massive, massive news, and this is going to shake up Hollywood in a major way. Let me know what you think about this in the comments below. Where do you think Trump is actually trying to go with all of this? I definitely want to hear your guys' thoughts and comments on this. Hope you guys enjoyed. Leave a like, subscribe, and I'll talk to you all in another video very soon.